So, what does it really take to secure a promise that's meant to last for generations? Today, we're going to dive into an incredible, high-stakes mission, a sacred quest where an entire legacy hangs on one loyal servant, a binding oath, and a sign straight from heaven.
And it all starts right here. Abraham. He's old, he's been blessed by God, and he knows the future of his entire lineage can't be left to chance. So he calls in his most trusted servant, Eliezer, and gives him a mission with stakes that literally could not be higher, all sealed with a solemn, unbreakable oath.
Now you gotta understand, this wasn't just some simple request. The sheer weight of a divine covenant, this massive promise made between God and Abraham, now rested completely on Eliezer's shoulders. Abraham lays out three absolutely critical conditions. First, the bride cannot come from the local Canaanites. Nope. Second, Eliezer has to travel all the way back to Abraham's original homeland. And third, and this is a big one, under no circumstances is Isaac, the heir to everything, allowed to go back there. This separation was non-negotiable.
And this moment right here shows such a powerful contrast. You've got Eliezer, this practical guy, thinking about logistics, and he immediately points out the biggest problem. What if she just says no? But Abraham's answer isn't practical at all. It's pure faith. He basically says, don't worry, an angel will go ahead and clear the path for you. It's this incredible clash between human doubt and just unwavering trust.
So, with the oath sealed, Eliezer's journey begins. And this is way more than just a trip across the desert. It's a journey straight into the heart of a divine plan, where every single step feels guided.
Picture this. The scale of this expedition is huge. A whole caravan of 10 camels loaded down with Abraham's wealth. He makes the long journey to Haran and arrives at the city well precisely at dusk, which just so happens to be the exact time the women of the city come out to draw water. The timing is just perfect.
And this was the real challenge, right? Standing at this well, surrounded by strangers, how on earth could Eliezer possibly pick out the one person destined for Isaac? It's an impossible task, and that kind of situation, well, it drove him to make a desperate and unbelievably specific prayer.
He doesn't just ask for a sign. He asks for a sign of extraordinary character. It's not enough for her to be kind to him, a stranger. No. The chosen one has to volunteer for the backbreaking work of watering his 10 camels. This is a test of radical generosity, sure, but also of the immense strength and servant-hearted spirit you need to become a matriarch of a nation.
And this is where the story gets truly cinematic. Because before the words are even fully out of his mouth, a young woman named Rebekah appears. The divine response isn't just fast, it's instantaneous.
Okay, let's just pause on this for a second. A thirsty camel can drink over 30 gallons of water. Watering 10 of them is an absolutely astonishing feat of strength and stamina for a young woman with just one pitcher. This is the monumental task she unknowingly just volunteered for.
You can just imagine the scene. Eliezer is just standing there in stunned silence, watching this incredible sign unfold exactly as he prayed for. He doesn't say a word, just watches with this mix of awe and suspense, wondering, is this really it? Is this the moment the mission succeeds?
Okay, so the sign has been confirmed in the most spectacular way possible. But now comes the next challenge, convincing a family he has never met to let their daughter leave home, forever, with a complete stranger. No big deal, right?
So after Rebekah does all this work, Eliezer gives her a heavy gold nose ring and 2 big gold bracelets. When she runs home, her brother Laban sees the expensive jewelry and immediately runs out to greet the visitor. You can tell his curiosity and maybe his ambition is definitely sparked.
When Laban offers him hospitality, Eliezer refuses. He says, "I won't eat, I won't rest, until I explain the sacred duty that brought me here." His focus is just absolute. The mission comes before comfort, before anything.
He then masterfully lays out the entire story, point by point. He talks about his master Abraham's greatness, the sacred oath, his specific prayer at the well, and the miraculous appearance of their daughter, Rebekah, as the undeniable answer. He's not just telling a story, he's presenting a case with clear, divine evidence. And the family's response is just so powerful. Laban and her father, Bethuel, are completely convinced. They recognize that this is so far beyond coincidence that they have no right to interfere. They see it as the clear will of God, and they consent right then and there. So, the family has agreed. The divine signs couldn't be clearer. But there's one final piece of the puzzle.
The most important decision of all now rests with the young woman at the center of this whole whirlwind story, Rebekah herself.
A final moment of tension pops up. The family, and you can't blame them, asks for a little more time, maybe 10 days to say goodbye. But Eliezer, driven by the sheer momentum of this divine mission, insists he has to get back to his master immediately.
So the family decides to leave it up to her. They call for Rebekah and put the entire weight of this life-altering decision squarely on her shoulders with one direct question. Everything, the journey, the oath, the future of the covenant, it all comes down to her answer.
And her response? Wow. No hesitation, no fear, just a simple, courageous, and decisive answer that sealed the destiny of a nation. I will go. With those 3 words, she willingly stepped right into the divine plan.
Rebekah's choice sets the final chapter in motion. The servant's mission is now complete, and 2 separate paths, each guided by providence, are finally about to converge.
And what a meeting it is! As evening is falling, Isaac is out meditating in a field. He looks up and sees a caravan approaching. At that same moment, Rebekah looks up, sees a man in the distance, and she just knows. It's this quiet, destined moment where the long, long journey finally finds its end.
The resolution is just swift and beautiful. Isaac brings Rebekah into his mother Sarah's tent, which is a gesture just loaded with meaning. He takes her as his wife, and the story tells us he loved her. And through this union, the covenant is secured, a new family begins, and Isaac finds deep comfort after the loss of his mother.
You know, this whole story is this incredible chain of trust. You have Abraham's faith, Eliezer's obedience, and Rebekah's willing heart, all linked together. It just leaves you with this thought. What incredible things become possible when one person's faithful choice becomes the bridge for a promise that is so much bigger than themselves?